Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing this morning? Hopefully you had a good week. Hopefully you're having a good weekend. It was ungodly hot here. Didn't do a lot of flying. It's just way too hot out. Looks like the computer's already jumping around. This should be interesting. I've got a bunch of other people consuming Wi-Fi in the house right now, so we'll see how this holds out. Good morning, everybody. My name's Dan. This is Tweet FPV. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you're having a good week. Celebrating late Father's Day this weekend. The wife and my daughter are home, and we went to see the new Top Gun movie. I gotta say, holy was it good. If you guys haven't seen it, you gotta go see it before it goes out of theaters. It's definitely a see it in the theater movie. It was really good. Like, really good. Yeah, we've been in the 100-degree range pretty much all week. Little moments of lower temperatures. I wake up at like 6 in the morning. It's already 85 degrees out, and it's just hot. Real hot. Running from air conditioning to air conditioning. Robbie, good morning. Ryan, how are you doing this morning? Borked, thanks for coming by. Stoked, FPV, what up, man? Just go FPV, sorry. Noah Reinhardt, good morning. One Vision Aerial, Mr. Yellow Dan himself, thank you so much for coming out. Expander, Jory, Hostile Habit, Ezekiel, yeah. NJ Jim. Family Guyver, good morning. Mr. Olson, how are you? JF Sarciano. Doing surgery on his 3D printer. Yeah, I tell you what, I've printed so much ABS on my Prusa Mark III that the PETG carrier that came on that printer she's not doing too good. It's still printing strong, but it's time to tear it apart and rebuild it. I have a bunch of ASA printed parts to replace most of the carriage with, and I've got a E3D Revo to throw in there. I put a Revo on the Voron. The Revo is super nice. I always wanted to change nozzles more, but it's always been such a pain in the butt. But with the Revo, it is so simple that it doesn't make sense not to pick the right nozzle for the application. Instead of just going with 0.4 and just whatever, just do it because it's already loaded. You can pick the right one, and it doesn't. It's super easy. The Revo it's been a really good addition to that printer. JF, what are you replacing the hot end with? Well, I guess what printer it is, and then what hot end you're replacing with. Yeah, so I listened to an interview with the stunt coordinator, and pretty much everything was actual. It may not have been that actual aircraft, but there was never what they called a blank scene, where they're just taking video of blank sky and then CGI an aircraft in there. There was an aircraft doing everything. May not have been that aircraft. They may have CGI'd the skin over the aircraft, but it was all actual flying. And that P-51 trainer, that is actually Tom Cruise's personal aircraft. I guess when you have more money than anybody else, you can have cool shit like that. Starting on your Triumph today. Cool, man. I did the Voron 2.4 when it really started getting popular, and before everything got really expensive and hard to find. It was an interesting build. There's things I would go back and do differently on it, but for the most part, it's a good printer. Real good printer. So that intro video, that was a fun little flight edit that I made up a couple weeks ago. Having a lot of fun with the Insta360 Go, or no, Insta360 camera. And that was on this little guy here. It's the newbie drone Invisible Invisa drone. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's a super slim build where basically the camera is the high and the low point of the entire frame. I did wire this one up to run 6S, and I'm running the Tommy's 2204 motors on there. These guys, the UMA motors, whatever they're called. But yeah, 6S was definitely the way to go on this thing. Definitely the way to go. Stopping the hot stock hand out, Micro Swiss, all metal hot end. Oh, Ender B3. Okay, cool, man. Nice. Robert Orlep says he likes that 360 rep. Cool, man. Glad you like it. It's really a different mindset editing a 360 video rather than just like, well, I'll just stitch this video to this video and then do some wacky color grade over it, where it's like now I have it's almost more than 360 degrees of video editing, because then it's also the field of view that you can play with. It creates some really interesting shots. That little tiny world shot, that's kind of overdone. I didn't afterwards. I'm like, I probably shouldn't have put that in there, but I got kind of lazy towards the end. Just hit send. But yeah, it's interesting to just fly and then edit and post. The lens guards add some really weird chromatic aberrations. Like if you go back and watch the video a couple times, you'll be like, oh, I can definitely see the difference between the top lens and the bottom lens. Just the way the light comes in, you'll see like almost a horizon line of like sun flare and then nothing. It would be better if I took the lens guards off, but unfortunately the way this drone's set up, the lowest point and the tallest point of the drone is the 360 lens, and you're gonna land. You end up landing on the lenses unless you land on like a pillow or a piece of cardboard or something. I mean, either way, that's the low point. One of the things I want to do is just take a servo and make like a little kickstand, kind of like what Betaflight does with the Pavo quad. They got the little dingus arm that comes out to kind of make it like a tripod, so you're not landing on the lens as much. But I figure with the lens protector on there, if it gets scratched up, I can pop it off and pop a new one on. They're not the easiest ones to install, but they're not terrible. You'll only take them off once. Yeah, probably. But the other downside of that drone is the camera is pretty locked in the frame. It's not the end of the world to get it out. It's like 6 screws, and you got to kind of like weasel the camera out. Then you can go use the camera for other things. It's not like the X-Night or the Cinnabird, where it's like you really have to disassemble the entire frame to get it out. I really wanted to build the Betaflight Pavo, but it says it only fits the SMO 360 or whatever they call it, and well, I just don't have one of those. What is it? The Pavo 360 only holds the SMO 360. Yeah. So I mean, I'm assuming that the Insta360-1R would not fit in it, but I wasn't gonna take the chance on it. But I do like the way the Pavo has the little dickory-do that comes out of the bottom of it to give you something to land on. I think this is the one that does it. Maybe it's not. I thought it was. Huh. I thought this one had a landing gear on it. Yeah, it does. There it is. Yeah, it's got a little servo with a peg on it to give you a way to triangulate the bottom of it so it doesn't lay right on the lens. It's good for takeoff and landing. And I don't see any reason why I couldn't do that to this drone. There's plenty of room in the back of it to put a servo, except the arm would have to be very long because the servo would be way back here to triangulate the frame to like make a tripod out of it. It's certainly doable. It's certainly something on the back burner. Once I get some time to do it, I probably won't do it. But it's a thought, and it wouldn't be hard to do. Doing servos through Betaflight is actually pretty darn easy. Current JW, thanks. Hate to say it, but my parents were the first to catch it. Stuff started, and I caught it from them. Barely had symptoms. Oh, fun stuff. Yeah, we got a few people. A little bit of outbreak at work here. Nothing crazy, just a few people not feeling very well. That's about it. One Visionary says, okay, yeah, I'll check that out. You said they dropped it to me on Facebook. I'll check it out after the stream. Yeah, Robert, it would be easy to do. It's just the location of the servo would be way in the back, so it would have to have a very long peg on it to get any appreciable angle on it. But definitely easy to do. It's just gotta stay in that stitch line. The stitch line is, it's essentially this space right here. So it's got about an inch worth of room, maybe an inch and a half if you look at the actual spherical of the lenses. About an inch and a half, but little cheapo plastic servo is pretty thin and easy to work with. Yeah, cool if it lowers the servo. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Yeah, it's a great idea that the Betaflight has on theirs. It is a very thin drone, and that's how the invisible drones actually work. Is you have to keep everything within that center profile of the camera. So basically, once the lenses start to make that little bubble outside of the main body of the camera, everything has to be inside that area. Sorry guys, I had breakfast this morning. I usually don't eat breakfast. It's a little bit of burps here and there. But I was flying the 360 camera on the Cola 6, which is great frame, great quad. I really like that thing. But then you have to try to fly around the frame or edit around the frame, and it's a real pain in the butt. This thing, there is absolutely no drone in any of the footage whatsoever to have to I can't show this because I'm getting a prop in view, or I can see the landing. There's nothing. It's literally like a 360 sphere flying around the sky with no drone in view. The only time you see it is when you can see the shadow, and every time I watch that video, if I'm standing up, I do get a little bit of I get the lean sometimes. But there is one part where I go underneath the deck and you can see all the dust and stuff blowing around. I thought, that's pretty cool. I'm very happy with that edit. Obviously, it could be better, but I'll be honest with you, that was extremely low effort. It was literally, I went and just flew a pack around the backyard, just and landed, and then afterwards, that's when you can make the magic with it. It is an entirely different mindset as far as making a flight edit goes. I'd like to try flying it indoors and doing almost like a real estate presentation, but the 360 cameras are really bad. Once you don't have super bright light, they get really grainy really quick, unfortunately. Anyways, welcome to the live stream. If you guys are catching in here, we got 27 concurrent viewers. If you get in here, hit that thumbs up button. Show some love. If you want to support me, go to tweetfb.com so you can pick up radio grips and just see the other stuff. You can find all the affiliate links and everything else down there at the bottom of the screen. Working on grips for the iFlight Commando 8. Quick review of the radio. I don't hate it. I don't like it. I don't hate it. It's better than the T Pro as far as I'm concerned. But I do have grips coming for that. Those should hit the store by this weekend, I'm hoping. They're basically done. I just need to get the other colors and the product images kind of done and uploaded and all that website-y type stuff. Got a product in from Beta FPV. This is the first time I'm showing it. I've got a video dropping this week on it. This is the Pavo 2.5. It is a 2.5 millimeter. Well, it's their new Pavo line of Cinewhoops. Basically, this is an upgrade to the Beta FPV 95X V3. The 95X line, or the X line, is kind of going away. If you have a 95X V3, you'll know that the frame is super wobbly and kind of, it's all plastic. You can literally take that quad and drop it right into this frame and you're good to go. This does have a nice 2mm carbon fiber plate that everything mounts to, and then the ducts, it's 6 screws and the ducts come on and off. It is a much improved design over the 95X V3. They sent me that for review. That dropped Friday. Review sometime this week. Check it out. They were like, yeah, just drop that 95X V3 into it. I'm like, I gave it away last week. They're like, what do you need? I'm like, an AIO and some motors. They're like, yeah, all right, no problem. And a receiver? Okay. I had a Naked Vista laying around, so that's what I put inside of this thing. I didn't weigh it yet. Hang on. $150 with no Lipo on it, and this is running a DJI system. Express LRS 2.4. Again, this is my own build, and my goodness, with Betaflight 4.3 being out of release candidate, it is so easy to set up a pusher quad. Pusher quads required quite a bit of forethought and thinking. Like, okay, I'm going to have the board upside down and turned, and then the motor orientation is going to be all screwed up, and the motor directions will. In Betaflight 4.3, it's all done through the GUI, and it is so simple. The only thing that Betaflight needs to implement is an accelerometer or a gyro calibration wizard. A lot of the other companies do that, like Flight 1. First thing they do is they say, put your quad on its nose, hit OK, lay it flat, hit OK, put it on its left side, hit OK, and then it goes, we know which way the gyro is oriented, we got you, fam. And it sets it up. As far as motor resource remapping, no more needing the CLI. You literally hit the wizard. It spins a motor. It says, hey, which motor's spinning? You click it on the screen, and it goes, got it. And it saves it. Same thing with motor reversing. It spins all the motors. Which one's going backwards or the wrong direction? You click that one in the GUI, and it goes, flips it around. Super simple. No more getting into BL Heli and doing all that crap and reversing motors with wires and all that. It is so long overdue. So many other firmwares have been doing it forever. I'm glad Beta FPV has finally implemented it. Oh, let's see. Ram Donko says, is there a way to add altitude hold to these types of quads? There is, but you need to have a barometer. And you can do like a barometer altitude hold. It's kind of flaky. It's not like DJI altitude hold where it'll be like right there. It'll float up and down maybe 5, 10, 15 feet. I don't think Betaflight implements GPS for altitude hold. They definitely do it with barometer. But you can also add Lidar. Pretty sure you can add Lidar to Betaflight. Lidar will give you the best altitude control that you can get. Let's see if it's even in here. I think it is. Sensor input, telemetry output, referrals. Yeah, here we go. You can add a Benawake Lidar. Yeah, a Benawake Lidar. Benawake Lidar. Let's see. Benwake-Lidar. Let's see. Nope. I've never added a Lidar, but you could add one of these to it, and that will give you super accurate altitude hold. $20. $20 you can stick a Lidar on there. I think. I don't know. I don't know a lot about how Lidar works, but it is definitely something that is an option in Betaflight, is to add a Lidar. And then with Lidar active, you can do an altitude hold with Lidar. There was a quad back in the day. I think it was the Connex ProSight Falcon. Was it Falcor? Connex, yeah, the Connex Falcor ProSight. That was the idea was to be an entry-level FPV racer. This is back when like they articulated the motors, so on those the front and the back spars, those would rotate for forward airspeed. But this was the whole idea. This is digital. Like, this is before DJI had digital. This is like one of the first digital systems out there. This was supposed to be an entry-level racer. You have like an altitude assist mode where you flip a switch, it activates the Lidar, keeps it off the ground and all that stuff. I mean, look at the antenna array on this sucker. Jeez, what's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7 antennas on this thing. So this was a digital setup. But this is the only quad that I know of that came with Lidar. I think you can see it hanging out of its butt right there. But yeah, this obviously this didn't take off, and neither did the Connex ProSight system. But that was the first digital FPV drone that I know of. Also, the first one with Lidar on it. But it was marketed towards entry-level stuff. It was an interesting setup. It was interesting, for sure. Family Guyver says 2.5 is my favorite size for cine whooping. Just the right amount of sound for my 3.5 ProTech is loud. Yeah, it sucks that once you get down to 2.5, you kind of have to run a naked camera, but like 3.5, you can run a full-size camera kind of at the same performance level. The naked cameras do have a lot of downsides to them. Speaking of naked cameras, we're going to build one today. This one here is a GoPro Hero 6. Focus, you Hero 6. And I have an easy way to build a naked Hero 6. The Hero 6, I think, is like, if you're going to upload to YouTube, if you're going to upload to YouTube, I think the Hero 6 is probably like the sweet spot for price versus performance for the naked cameras. Obviously, 8, 9, 10s, image quality is better. The bones, image quality is better. But when you're uploading to YouTube, YouTube is gonna, it's gonna do its thing to it, and it's gonna look like smashed ass anyways, because of YouTube compression. So the 6 is cheap. The 7 is really bad for running real steady because of the way the gyro is designed on it. So you want to skip the 7. 7's a bad camera for this purpose. 6, 8, 10. I think the 9 as well, but 5. I wouldn't go anything lower than a 6. But my opinion, with a lot of research backed up behind it. $25 makes you get a higher range Lidar. Yeah, I don't know anything about reading Lidar specs. This is literally the first time I've looked into Lidar. So definitely do your research on that. Lidar can be added to Betaflight. How? It is a sensor input. If you're watching the stream right now, Family Guyver, when you go into Betaflight and you go to ports, you go into peripherals, and right here we have Betaflight Lidar. And once you have, actually, let me hook up a flight controller here. See what kind of options we get. So the virtual flight controller, it doesn't really save things. So we'll go ahead and put let's put Lidar on UART2. Let's see, that's saved. So we go to configuration. I don't think it adds anything new in here. method tuning, receiver. So we go to modes, and that we should have an. I was assuming we'd have like an altitude control. I don't know. Maybe you can't. I'm pretty sure you can, though. It might take a bit more research into it than what I have here. Sensors, sonar, altitude. There's a way to do it. There's a way to do altitude hold, too. I've done it before. It's not very good. There used to be an altitude hold. Pretty sure there used to be. Maybe they removed it. Well, if you can't do it in Betaflight, you can definitely do it in iNav. I could have swore there used to be an altitude hold in here. Maybe I'm wrong. I know there used to be. I've done it before. It wasn't good. Definitely more research is required, but it does have options for a Lidar input, so I would assume that it can use it in some way, shape, or form, but I don't know. Connex ProSight. CONNEX, Falcor, Racing Quadcopter. Connex ProSight was like the original digital system. It wasn't very good, but it was better. All right, guys. I need to take a real quick break here. Something's come up. I'm gonna leave you with a little bit of footage. By the way, we're giving away the Darwin FPV Baby 8 Pro or the Flywoo Firefly Hex Nano today. If you want to know how to get in on that, I'm sure you'll figure it out. But those will be given away today at 11:45. It is 10:30 right now. I am. Be right back. I'll leave you with. Let me pick a video here. Let's do the props off PSA. I'm sorry I got to do this to you guys, but let's leave with this one here. Be right back, guys. I'm sorry. And of course, I'm now just realizing that I put that up on the wrong screen. Sorry, guys. I'm back. Sorry about that. That was an emergency. All right, guys. Where are we at? We got North 49 RC playing with the LED control lights. This was the first week I haven't had to like screw with the program to get it to work. It just worked. It's crazy. Freaking crazy. Maytech Lidar, Gamma Gonad says the Maytech Lidar module is really good for very low altitude. Okay, good to know. Morton Upshot, teaching my daughter to drive, listening on my headset. Anything you say might be the last thing I hear forever. Pay for somebody else to have your kids learn how to drive. Let's see. But hey, Morton, good luck, man. I'm sure you'll be just fine. Most people survive that. Most people. Teach them to look for motorcycles. Good God, teach her to look for motorcycles. So here's an interesting concept. We're going to get way off the rails here. I watched a video. There's a YouTube channel I watch called Fort 9. It's a Canadian YouTube show. I'm sure plenty of you guys have seen it. They brought up a really good point or a good observation about motorcycle accidents, and it's usually at intersections when it's involving more, it's not a single vehicle accident. It involves a motorcycle running into a car or vice versa. They brought up the fact that most people lose depth perception when they look to their right. And we're talking like American drivers sitting in the left seat of the car. When you look to your right, you lose depth perception. And here's why. So you're sitting at your computer, look to your left like you'd be looking out your car window. Both of your eyeballs are looking right out that window. Now, when you look to your left, most people turn their head like this. Your brain has figured out how to delete this thing on your face. So when you turn to your right and you're looking out the window, unless you're doing this, which nobody does, you are now losing your depth perception because you're trying to look through your schnoz here, and you don't have depth perception, or very good depth perception, to your right because of the fact that we have all been, through nature, we've been trained to just turn our heads to the right. I don't see my nose right now unless I'm like really looking for it. But once you start thinking about it, you realize that your left eye is looking through your skull, through your nose, and you no longer have depth perception to your right. Just food for thought. Just something that's been rolling around the old noodle that I heard the other day that was very enlightening. I'd never thought of it. Maybe I'm just a dumb person. I haven't thought of it. You all have, but whatever. Easy. Do your Commando 8 come with dual antenna? If it is, then can you open up the antenna to see how it's set up? The one that I have does not come with the dual antenna. I do have the dual antenna for it. But just because you asked, we can crack this bad boy open. I've already done it once for the people on my Discord. If you're not on my Discord, what the hell's wrong with you? Get on the Discord. All the cool people over there. But I have cracked the antenna open once before. I'm doing it right now. Cut my fingernails yesterday. Makes it a little more difficult. Can we please get that thumbs up, says Mahale. Yeah, man. If you're not going to do it for me, do it for Mahale. He asked you. Seems like a pretty cool dude. Out in Australia, if I can remember correctly, right? Digging for that opal. Alright, hang on. Almost there. There we go. Alright. Let's take it over to the bench. So here's the antenna that comes with the iFlight radio. And as you can see, or maybe you can't see, I hope you can see it. Right here, we've got our main antenna lead coming in. This whole thing is just PCB, but the element is only right here. And that is going to be a 2.4 gigahertz wavelength. So it's going to be like 32 millimeters, something like that. Whatever a quarter of the speed of sound is. So it's a quarter wavelength antenna. Let's see. Should be about 30, 23, something like that. Let's see, 20. 25 millimeters. So that is the 2.4 gigahertz antenna that comes installed on this. I do have the dual band antenna as well. Let me grab the box here so you guys can see it. So here's the dual band. So this is 900 and 2.4. And you can see, again, we have that 2.4 gigahertz element right here. Just right on the edge of the PCB. Comes up to about there. And then we can see here, we have a 900 megahertz antenna right there. And here's the other side of the T antenna, right there, and more of the 2.4 right there. So the 2.4 T antenna is right here, so there to there. And I'm assuming this is probably the same way. I just haven't peeled it out of the back of the shell. It's got that antenna fixing glue on it. But if I had to guess, this is probably mirrored on this side, so the T antenna is about yay long, which kind of makes sense. So that's the dual element antenna. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's dual element, it's gonna suck, blah, blah, blah. No, you can do dual element and have good results with it. It just has to be done right. There's a lot of impedance and capacitance calculations that need to be done. You can't just assume that the antenna not being 1/4 of the wavelength of 2.4 gigahertz is the wrong length. The length is also dictated by the impedance and the capacitance of the transmitting circuit. That's how, like, really higher end applications, like, you know, high frequency, like HF communications, that's how that stuff works with only having one antenna, but being able to work anywhere from 3 megahertz to 30 megahertz. Is because the switching unit, or the tuning unit, has the ability to electronically lengthen or shorten the antenna based on capacitance and resistance of the circuit. Ask me how I know. Don't ask me how I know, because I don't want to tell you. Lots of training. Lots of training. Most of which I forgot. Oh, back to the chat. Where are we at here? Sorry, didn't mean to blow into the microphone there. Azia T says, I'm having a hard time orbiting. Do you think my rates or PIDs could be messing me up? I know how to orbit, but messed up my settings recently. What affects orbits, rates or PIDs? Rates, definitely. PIDs aren't really going to affect your ability to orbit. They may affect your ability to keep the camera smooth in orbit, which, I'll be honest, and I don't want to sound like a dick, but it's the meat behind the sticks that's going to be the biggest contributing factor to being able to orbit smoothly. If you are like super used to rates, like I rarely fly consistent rates. That way, so there's people that are like, I set every quad up exactly the same, but as soon as those quads change, they're all elbows and assholes. I am lazy about rates. I fly Betaflight stocks most of the time, and you could throw weird rates at me, and it's like a couple minutes behind the sticks, and you just get used to it. You can either learn to be adaptable and meh, skill-wise, or you can learn to be really, really good, but with zero adaptability. Just a personal thought. So most likely, if you ended up messing up your rates, that's the thing that's affecting you the most, or your camera angle. Camera angle has a ton of effect on your ability to fly consistently. Anything I have that doesn't have like a really solid camera mount or a fixed camera mount, like all my race quads, fixed camera mounts, 45 degrees. I could probably fly at 50 degrees. I'd probably do better, but I would want a camera mount that is fixed at 50 degrees. If you smack a gate, smack the ground, and your camera moves a couple degrees, that really will mess you up, probably more than just about anything else. So I would look at camera angle being consistent, and it's not even the same from camera and quad to camera and quad. Sometimes the sensors are installed just a little bit differently from one camera to the other. But I would start with the hardware side of it. Consistent camera angle. Then consistent rates. PIDs, if you're getting oscillations, you can talk about PIDs. But PIDs aren't going to help you with orbiting for the most part. Let's see. I will have to say the Commando 8, the speaker on it, I didn't really, like, whatever, it's a speaker, but...
Welcome to HTX.
The speaker's really good. Like, it's noticeably good. You know, I've never really had two thoughts about the quality of a speaker, but the first time I heard this thing speak, I'm like, ooh, that is different. Really good speaker. Just something to note, that's all. Family Guy, you could do that with iNav for sure, with the proper setup. All right, let's go back through the chat here. SparkFun has Lidar, $45. ITC, good work. Yep. Just going to be coming back. Say hi. Did you say he was taking the Browns to the Super Bowl? I did not say that. Didn't say that. But like I said, I don't usually eat breakfast before, or I usually don't eat breakfast. Back to the chat here. Yeah, don't teach family members how to drive. Don't teach family members how to shoot. Pay somebody who they don't know to do it. That's obviously accredited or, you know, has experience. Some of us should be legally blind looking left from the nose size. Yeah. Dang it. The chat is locked up. It will not move for me. All right. Let's see. Let's look at the other chat window. No way, man. DJ has a replacement policy on crash drones, just in case it didn't fail either. If you phase your eyes out a bit, you can see if you're looking through your nose or not. It's pretty crazy when that thing happens. Yeah, exactly. Like, just food for thought, man. Paul McDonald says, have you ever done any fun ammo can mods? Not really. The most I do with ammo cans, I store my lipos in them. Just for storage. That's all. Hey, thanks. How you doing this morning? Range Chicken, how you doing this morning? All right, let's see. Let's put a new camera on. The mount is loose. I bet that's a major part. Yeah, I'd be willing to bet that's probably a big part of your issue. That camera angle changing, because when your camera angle changes, that changes literally how much pitch and roll that you have to. It changes how much of each stick that you have to use, especially in orbit, because you're doing three things. You're doing a coordinated turn with a lot of throttle, so you're not only pitching, rolling, yawing, and throttling. That as soon as your camera angle changes, now your pitch and roll and yaw start to swap each other. You start using less yaw with higher camera angles and more pitch and roll for the same sort of coordinated turn, as opposed to a lower camera angle where you're going to be using a lot more yaw and less roll to keep the same sight picture going around an object. So that makes a huge difference, man. Huge difference. Cosmic Damage, how you doing this morning? Sergio Lopez, what's up, buddy? Ham in a can is cool. Isn't that spam? I'm hoping it's a bit cooler this week. The forecast looks like it's gonna be cooler, but it was just hot. I got a couple good logging flights in on the Beast class this week. Still working on tuning that. Fun. So with the APD ESCs to reverse the motors, I mean, you could go and swap the phases on the motor wires, but they're so heavy I didn't do that. There's a little solder pad on each of the ESCs and each ESC to reverse the motor direction. So you just bridge a solder pad and it'll reverse it. I had to flash a beta firmware to them, and of course you have to do it through like a FTDI and hitting boot pads and all that. You know, it sucks. The first time you do it, you got to do it you got to do it that way. After that, you can do it through Betaflight pass-through. Interesting is when you flash the new firmware, it no longer recognizes that bridged reverse pad, and they're reversed in software, much like we're used to with BL Heli and BL Heli 32. You want to talk about something scary is when you go to throttle up on a Beast class and it does the TAS thing, because some motors are spinning the wrong way and some are spinning the right way. That. It sounds like somebody has a weed whacker ran into a chain link fence. No damage, but little bits of poop came out. It was scary. Very scary. But I did manage to get bidirectional D-shot working on it, RPM filtering, all that stuff. So still working on the tune. It's going to be a slow process just because I'm not going to get a chance to fly it every day. But yeah. High camera makes roll act like yaw. Yep, exactly. You look at the top, like if you look at stick cams from like really high-end racers that are flying super high camera angle, you don't see a lot of deflection in yaw, like at all. Maybe like a couple microseconds north or south of 1500, but it's pretty rock solid. Beast has not chopped down any trees yet. It has dug a hole in my yard, though. But, yeah. One Vision Aerial says, one bonus to being buddies with a supply sergeant, get ammo cans all day long when we come home from the range. Scored some ammo cans off the H64 Apache. Yeah, ammo cans are pretty abundant. Trying to find the 50 cal cans is a little bit harder. Those are the ones that are a little more in demand. The 5.56, the M240 ammo can set. Those are all day long, but they're kind of skinny. But yeah, I know, ham radio in a can. I've seen people do stuff like that. How do I read black box with the Android app? Great question. I don't know. I haven't tried it. Black box is hard enough on the desktop. I couldn't imagine breaking it down to cell phone sized. But from what I understand, from the little bit I've played around with the SpeedyB app, is you have to use the SpeedyB app to read the SD card contents from the quad, and then from there, I think the Black Box Explorer program is in the SpeedyB app. But there's also a standalone Black Box Explorer that you can side load. Yeah, so there is Black Box Analyzer. So yeah, you can load it directly from the SD card, or you can load it directly from the drone using the Black Box Analyzer in SpeedyB. Let's see. Currently, I saw bought a cheaper all-metal tool chest, a small one, added fire-resistant mix to the inside. Use that, prevent explosion. Yeah, a lot of people talking about Lipo fires and containment and all that stuff. So I have a very controversial thought about the bat box. Everybody says at first glance the bat box is the safest way to charge Lipos. And I thought the same thing. After having it for a while, I 100% disagree. Here is why. And this is going to be controversial, but just stop, put our thinking caps on for a second. What is the number one line of defense against a Lipo fire? Besides making sure the Lipo is actually worthy of having angry pixies pushed back into it from a charger, is constant vigilant monitoring, watching them, feeling them, being in the same space, listening, smelling, because it'll touch on darn near all senses. You can smell it before it goes off, you can hear it, you can feel it, you can see it. Maybe you can taste it. I don't recommend that last one. Now, picture this. You shove all that shit inside of a metal box and you lock it down. You have lost all of your ability to prevent that fire from happening. You have lost every little bit of being able to prevent that fire from happening. That fire is going to happen. It's Schrodinger's fire. It's Schrodinger's battery charging box. The battery is going to explode or not, and you don't know until it goes off. I'm not entirely sure if I'm using that correctly, but you get the point. I have a bat box. You know where I charge all my batteries? On top of it. Because I am sketched out putting batteries inside of that bat box, locking it down, and having zero way to know whether they're okay or not. Yeah, obviously you can go over there and keep popping them open, but it's a lot easier to just go, yeah, they look all right, than to have to go over there, open the box, take a look inside. Maybe you jostle them around. Maybe one comes disconnected. Now you've pulled, especially if you're on a balance board, now, because they don't sit in there very well, now you've pulled one of the balancing leads off of the balance board. That battery is no longer balancing. Your charger's not going to tell you that, hey, you pulled a balance lead off. It's just going to keep pumping those trons through that XT60 until one cell goes out of balance and pops off. That's my thought of it. The safest way to charge a battery is out in the open. Obviously, you could put it inside like a grill or something like that, or out in a porch, fireplace, someplace that's fire resistant. But being inside the bat box, I think, promotes lazy Lipo maintenance. Yeah. That's my 2 cents. What do you guys think? Do you think that I'm off base here, or does that make sense to you? Mike Bergman's asked, have you moved to Betaflight 4.3? Yeah, everything I have is on 4.3 for the most part. Most of them are still on release candidates. There's only a few things I've moved to the actual, like, full 4.3, but I'm working on it. It's just a matter of time getting everything over there. I mean, I got a ton of quads. I only fly like a small handful of them on a regular basis, but yeah. I would recommend props out when using your quad as a weekend racer, as a weed whacker. I recommend props out all the time, regardless. Not for any sort of flight performance, but because when you hit things, you're going to hit them going forward, most likely, unless you're tumbling, then it's anybody's guess. With your quad pulling props into it, if you hit a branch, it's going to go, my branch, I'm staying here. Whereas if the props are going out, it's going to go, got it. Like, you'll never see a racer out there flying props in, because if you tap a gate, it's going to suck you into the gate. Instead, it's going to try to push you away from it. Please, somebody, don't remix that. One Visionary says I got a few 50 cal cans here. I'll score some for you. 50 cal gunner. Mark 19 gunner. Sweet, man. Yeah, we've got a gunner program here. 50 cal cans. They come up, just not as often. You could use an on-the-go USB cable from the phone to the flight controller. Yep, you certainly could. Fly Zone, how you doing? What's up? How you doing this morning? My house is fireproof, so no stress on that issue. Your house is fireproof. How does that work? Anyways. Thanks for the Commando Antenna Show. Anytime. I plan on doing a full teardown review on this radio. So there's a few positive things about it. I like the speaker's nice. I don't really care for the color of it, but it doesn't really matter to me. The grips on it now are really nice. Momentary or latching switches up here where they should have been. 3-position switches here, but these should be down here, or there should be another set down here. There are no sliders, there's no potentiometers, and there is no trim switches. Of course, you could possibly remap these to be trim switches, but there are no trim switches. You can always use auto trim, and it's kind of the same issue that the Tango 2 has. But my biggest gripe about this radio is this. The stick ends are some proprietary bullshit that shouldn't ever exist. Hang on, my camera's overheating. I gotta give the old USB fan treatment. Need to re-thermal paste that camera. I know, it's a weird thing to say. Yeah, so that's the biggest thing I don't like about it is these stupid stick ends are proprietary. It's like a M1.5 thread or something like that. Maybe it's M2. I don't know. I gotta grasp. Good question. I think I've got some M2 screws right here. I don't think it's M2 though. I think it's something smaller. It might be M2. Yeah, it's M2. So you can make custom stick ends like this. You can make them damn near any length you want. Not a lot of biting surface on it, but yeah. So it's an M2 stick end. I haven't seen any replacements for them. You'd probably have to look for like replacements for like the DJI FPV drone radio, if you were, or you could probably make your own. I was thinking about trying to design my own stick ends and you know, print them on the resin printer and try selling them and all that stuff, but I don't know. I don't know what people would like. It seems like there's a lot of different variety and people like a lot of different things. So I would say there's no one stick end to rule them all. Let's see. Paul McDonald says, I recently moved to an ammo can for storage. I have a metal enclosed network rack that I'm going to be using for storage, charging area. Weird. Yeah, I use the ammo cans for storage, and that's entirely it. Same thing with the Lipo bags. I have one that's like a cube-looking Lipo bag. I just use it for storage. I have one for XT30 batteries, one for XT60 batteries. Do you take your charge station to the Super Bowl when the Browns are playing? What if? Well, you know, you can always pause the charge. Current GW, I agree about the bat box. My toolbox has 4 drawers, so I charge in the drawers with them open. If anything were to happen, I can close the drawer. I also do it on my balcony as I'm in a condo. Yeah, obviously it's going to be different for everybody, just depending on your situation. If you're living in an apartment, you're going to be hard pressed to find places where a Lipo can go off and not destroy the entire apartment building. Balcony is one, but just remember, if it's going to go off, that flame it's like a flamethrower. I've got a couple of videos on my channel of Lipos going up. It's pretty impressive, but the real impressive part is how hard it is to actually touch off a Lipo. Like, you have to do a lot of shit wrong. The easiest way is obviously with parallel charging. It's the easiest way to set off a LiPo because a lot of the safety features that are built in your charger are negated when you have other healthy LiPos in the mix. It doesn't see the bad ones. It doesn't see the ones where the cells are dropping off. It's going to see all the good ones. It's only going to see the best of the best, not the worst. So my recommendation is never parallel charge. Buy a charger with 2 channels and just pre-plan your charging. Obviously, that doesn't apply to, or that doesn't. It's not applicable to everybody, and not everybody can do that. But parallel charging is where most of the time when people light off LiPos, and then also charging sketchy batteries. If you have a battery that's shaped like this because it's been crashed 100 times, maybe pay real close attention to it while it's charging. Would I charge it? Hell yeah, I would. But I'd be watching it the whole time. Mahale says, I live underground. Okay, well, yeah, that would do it. His house is an igloo. Yeah, don't... yeah, fire's in an igloo. Probably not a good idea. Nice, Mahale. Very nice. Wouldn't your concern be if it's explosion proof? That's off the toy. Yep. Can't replace the stick ends. You can replace the stick ends. You just have to find them. I just haven't seen any. Well, let's check. M2 stick ends. M2.5. M2.5. How about DJI stick ends? Okay, so actually there are some aftermarket stick ends. So here, Get FPV has some replacement stick ends. These should, I believe, these will work on the iFlight Commando 8. So there are options out there. They are M2. Huh, that radio looks awfully familiar. What does it look like, guys? Actually, it looks more like the T-Pro than this one, but my point still stands. So, yeah, you would just have to look for stick ends for the DJI radio. Here's a couple other ones. Here's some Amazon. So there are options out there. Not a lot. This doesn't look like a bad option here. So, yeah, you know, there are options. But you can replace the stick ends. It's just not as common. No, it's not that. And my bit rate has gone to shit. All right, looks like we're back. Like I said, there's a lot more people in the house right now. Sucking up what little internet I have. Let's see. 112 gross. Like, I got my car and it said 110 Wednesday. It's gross. But it's also humid as hell. I think the old Turnigy radios are at 2mm. Oh. Don't know that for sure, but something to look into. I feared those smart LiPo batteries with the Wi-Fi dongle would become a requirement due to the whole flight log thing. It may actually be eventually. You never know. Okay, so One Vision Ariel says, yeah, they are 2mm. I have them for the Turnigy radios. So let's see if you are in Turnigy. That's not how you spell Turnigy. Let's see. I see a bunch of 2.5mm. Might be 2.5 mil because like the X Lite used M2.5. I don't see anything on here about the Turnigy radio using M2. Oh, never mind. Nope. Nope. I'm seeing nothing but M3 for the Turnigy radios. And M2.5. Just something to think about. Oh, man. They'll call it any nice rubber stick ends. I don't know, you could glue the end of an eraser on one. Or dip it in Plasti Dip. Make it rubbery. Oh yeah, Current JW. We're on the same wavelength here, guys. I have 2 or 3 of the Turnigy 9XR radios sitting here. Got me yards. So Turnigy 9XR radio. Let's see. Copy. Paste. Radio stick ends. All right, so this is the Turnigy 9X. Well, no, that's 9X, not 9XR. Well, I'm not seeing it, but that doesn't mean it's not there. I just might not be looking in the right place. But definitely not very common either way. Notice Dutch RC has your grips on all his radios. Nice, man. I've also noticed that Mr. Steele has them on his Mambo. I kind of troll his Instagram post. I'm like, hey, man, nice grips, bro. I know for a fact he has no idea where the hell they came from. I don't even... Somebody probably gave them to him. But, yeah, he's definitely using them. Like, you know, I figure I might see one video with him on there, then next with him off, like he's just trying them out, but no. Hey, One Vision Aerial, can you find a link to a stick end for that radio and post it up in here? I'll turn you blue there so you can actually post a link. I'd greatly appreciate it. I haven't seen Steel fly a TX16S. No way, Mihail. Well, that's kind of cool. Although, knowing him, he might be saying something bad. All right, guys, it's 11:12. At 11:45, we're going to spin the wheel for either, well, for somebody to win a ready to fly. Yeah, ready to fly. Is it ready to fly? No, it's a plug and fly quad. I have a iFlight. Flywoo Firefly Nano Hex quad. I can never remember the name of this stupid thing. This one is digital. It's flying DJI, which if you have the DJI radio, it will be a bind and fly at that point. Or I have a Darwin FPV Baby Ape Pro, and this one is analog. It is the Pro version, so it does have the Caddx Ant camera in it. And for the money, this has got to be the best deal in a quad that you can possibly get right now. I challenge you to find a better deal than this. Yeah, it's not top of the line anything, but geez, for the price, you're getting a lot. It is high value, not high quality, high value. This Darwin FPV Baby. So whoever the winner is, they get to choose DJI or analog, Evil Empire or outdated technology. Take your pick. No judgment here. Maybe just a little. Get back in the box. things not to do on stream. Deal with putting stuff in a box. But we'll be spinning the wheel for that in about 30 minutes here. Guys, if I get on a rambling tangent, remind me, and we'll spin the wheel. Right now I have 37 people entered to win one of these quads. Evil Empire all the way. Yeah, I'm seeing lots of ads for the new Avanta, or no, not the Avanta, the walk sail system, and then the new Fat Shark system. And you know what? I don't care. I'm just going to wait and let these companies duke it out. This is going to be a case of Blu-ray versus HD DVD. If you guys aren't old enough to remember that, there was 2 digital formats. Well, there was more than 2, but there was 2 major ones. It was HD DVD and Blu-ray. They existed at the same time, and only one of them came out ahead, and that was Blu-ray. I have a feeling that we are looking at a 3-way race for digital again, but right now we're looking at HD DVD versus Laserdisc, and then we're going to see Blu-ray come around, which is going to be DJI. So we have the 2 basically clone systems that are going to fight against each other. Now, if they work together, holy shit, that would be awesome. Like if you could have a Walk Snail VTX and the Fat Shark goggles and they work together, that would be huge. I know it doesn't seem like it would be, but it would definitely be very huge. You know DJI is going to come in and wipe the floor with these guys. A, because they're going to make a better product. They just do that. And 2, they're going to offer it at a lower price because they can do that. Just speculation, guys. But if you're in the market, just hold what you got. Go buy analog. Analog will be around forever, and it's about as good as it's going to get. It's a known quantity. Go buy analog if you're trying to get into this hobby. Everybody needs analog. Everybody needs analog. I don't think I'll ever exist without analog, just because it'll always be there. You'll never find a 20-gram whoop that's not analog. Well, I'm not going to say never. Eventually you might, but not anytime soon. Beta and VHS. Yeah, exactly, Michael. Exactly. Microsoft versus Sony. That's pretty much what it is. That's pretty much what it was. Microsoft was doing HD DVD and Sony was doing Blu-ray, right? Or am I getting that wrong? The Roberito. I remember Laserdisc. Yeah, that was like the big technology we had in my high school. It was like we'd watch a movie and it was on Laserdisc, and I swear the disc was like this big. It was like a record. Shit, how do I explain a record? A record is... It's like a hubcap. Wait, shit, how do I explain hubcaps to these guys? Anyways, it was a big gold platter of a disc that you had to flip over halfway because it was very low compression. And Family Guy, yeah, anyone that giant laser disc size, yeah. So that's what my high school had for their technology to show a movie. They had the monster monitor with the laser disc player underneath it. Yeah. Yeah, I remember mini discs. Mini discs seemed like it was going to be a really good platform. It was like a little 3.5-inch CD inside of a cartridge, which is kind of like between between CD and cassette tapes. Yeah. Yeah, the format wars. I think I saw like a YouTube video on like the format wars. It was kind of funny. It was like a comical one. It says they're M3. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. One Vision Arrow. I think they're M3. HD DVD was in the Xbox. It was a add-on to the Xbox, from what I remember. Mike Berger says, I was flying my analog TP3 last night, having so much fun, and all my DJ quads have been giving me trouble lately, with 4.3 mainly, my little TP3 though, just little rippers. Yep, analog will always exist. Until somebody shuts it down, analog's always going to be around. HD DVD wasn't Microsoft, but they were off the alliance or whatever, pushing them. Okay. Yeah, the only thing I remember having HD DVD was the Xbox, and it was like an add-on DVD player that went with it. Happy Model Module 6 HD, 6.5 is only 23 grams. So I have the Mobeetle 6. 17.28 grams. How? It's amazing. And I'm sure we can make it lighter, too, if you really tried. I understand a large pizza. There you go. So in 1877, the phonograph was invented. Then came... Oh, yeah, right. No kidding. Showed us the Matrix on Laserdisc. Oh, what a blend of things right there. Just like, that's like generations coming together. That's... how do I get entered for the giveaway? You got to figure it out. OcuSync 3 Pro came out on the 18th from DJI. I'm hearing that it's awesome from the videos. F3 systems will be amazing if they go that path. Let's see what we get here. For some reason, YouTube links don't work, and they're pasted into the chat window for some reason. Like, it's missing the last bit of it for some reason. I don't know why. We should get a ton of free in the email. That's what he does. Let's see. First computer, 5 3/4 inch flop, 5 1/4 inch flop. Yeah. The easiest way is to become a patron. The other way is to watch the video. This giveaway. Find the entry URL. It hides in them. Yep. Let's see. Okay, so one of the other things we're going to talk about today is this guy. If you guys have it, obviously everybody knows what a naked Hero camera is. It's the guts of a Hero 6, kind of like, like this guy here. You just buy one of these, you crack it apart, you try not to destroy it, and then you jam it inside one of these Beta FPV camera cases, and they have their own their own designed voltage regulator that goes on them. And a lot of people don't want to do this because they don't want to tear apart a perfectly functioning GoPro. Maybe it's not a perfectly functioning GoPro, but a GoPro that works. There is an easier way to do it. Sometimes it's more expensive, sometimes it's less, just depending on how things are going on. What's going on here? I sent those two links to Facebook Messenger. Okay, thanks, man. What is going on here? Anyways, another way you can do it is you can actually just build the camera out of pieces. I need to delete this song. I don't like that one. You can build out of pieces. You can find new parts for these cameras on AliExpress. Don't worry, guys. AliExpress is actually fairly legit. I've never been screwed over on them yet. I know there are people that have. But you can literally go on here and just buy a raw mainboard for $136 or whatever. The prices fluctuate quite a bit on this stuff, so definitely shop around. And you can buy a lens module for, at least right now, just the first one I pulled up was $58. And you're good to go. Those two things, and then the case, and probably a ND filter. That's all you need. You will need an LCD if you don't already have one, or you don't know somebody you can borrow one from. You're going to need an LCD because you got to set up the Wi-Fi and stuff on it. But you can basically build a naked GoPro out of parts. a medium-sized pizza is our large. If you want a large, you need to order an extra large. Weird. So yeah, you can build a GoPro just out of parts. So I have, there's a main board, there's a camera module. Here is our Beck, and I don't have the here. And here is my display. So we can literally build GoPro out of spare parts. Well, they're not really spares, but you get the point. So here we have our main board. And that's really all you need there. We have our lens module. The GoPro Skinny. There you go. I couldn't put naked GoPro in the description because I think YouTube will flag it. So there's our lens module. Now, the problem with... Damn it. The problem with running a naked GoPro is the bare lens is exposed. It has no protection over it. And the lens is, it must be made out of like the softest plastic on the face of the planet. So anytime you're using it, you need to have some sort of lens protection on it, either an ND filter or just a UV filter. If I'm not running an ND filter because I'm low light, I will never fly it like that. The first time I did it, my quad just tipped over and it just wrecked the lens. That's just another ND filter. I have a UV filter. The filters for the Mavic 2 zoom work well. That's what that was from. But yeah, it's in a box somewhere else. But you've got to run some sort of lens protection on it. Otherwise, it will get scratched up and the video will be pretty much useless out of it. But you can replace just the lens. You can replace the entire lens module. You can replace just the lens, but sometimes it's just better to buy the whole shebang because it'll be lined up, it'll be clean for the most part. Now the issue I have with these is the Beck is, these cameras fry all the time and nobody really knows why. Everybody basically blames the Beck because that's the most likely culprit, but you got to remember there's zero protection on these things. There's no impact, there's no dust and water ingress protection at all. You're just dealing with bare components. I have heard people talk about conformal coating these, but this chip right here gets so stinking hot, and I think this one does too, that they also kind of caution against conformal coating. There's so many contacts on here that you really wouldn't want to risk conformal coating them. The other thing is the wire that comes out of this has 3 pins on it, one for power, one for ground, and one for pin IO, so you can activate recording, start and stop. A lot of people claim that pin IO connection is what's frying the main boards on these naked GoPros. So I never run the pin IO, and all I do is I solder a jumper from record to I think it's record to ground. So once you plug it in, it'll be on, and all you gotta do is press the button and it'll start recording. And then the way I don't fly it on anything other than less than 4S, so all you gotta do is take a 4S balance lead, pull the center pins out so you've got full pack voltage, and Bob's your uncle. You can power this off of any 4S Lipo. And so far that's been working pretty good for me. I also have, this is a dead GoPro. I don't know exactly what's dead on it. I'm afraid to use this Beck on another board, so this is all basically, once I have another dead GoPro, I may start using these pieces to troubleshoot with, but I would not want to use any of these pieces on new components, whether they're good or not new. That remains to be seen. But the assembly is pretty darn straightforward. It's been a while since I've done one of these. The hardest part is actually just setting up the setting it all up in the naked case here. Lens goes in like that. The Wi-Fi antenna is no longer on these, so Wi-Fi burns out pretty much instantly once you start using it. So that's why we need the screen to set up Bluetooth. And it is kind of small, fiddly work, but it's not the hardest thing in the world to do. First thing I want to do is take this. There's this little light pipe thing, and it's very easy to lose. I just jam this thing in the back of the case right off the bat because it's clear, and I've lost these before. It's just get out of the way, get it done. Oh, you don't lose it. It's kind of a pain in the ass to install. There we go. Get in there. There we go. So we got a little light pipe in the back case there. Now, remembering where all the screws go, that is always a fun little project there. Hey Brandon, how you doing this morning? Brandon has been graciously helping me tune the Beast. I haven't had a chance to fly it since that last log I sent you. Just the weather has just been just stupid hot. Been super busy cleaning the house up, getting things ready for my daughter to move back home for the year. But yeah, greatly appreciate all the tuning help. One of these days I might learn a thing or two. If anybody needs assistance tuning, or just want to figure out kind of the ins and outs of it, Brandon Baked Beans, I believe he's offering his services, obviously at a price because people need to be compensated for their abilities. All right, so let's go ahead and put this thing together. See, kids having a spring break, combination busy and exhausted lately. I get that for sure. All right, so we got a M4 screw, which you're gonna want to make sure that you have these all kind of sorted out before you start this, because if you use the wrong screw in the wrong spot, you're gonna end up sticking the screw through the back of the plastic, and ain't nobody need that. Also, the reliability of getting all the right screws the first time, well, you guys know what to expect there. Those are all my M8 or my 8mm long screws. I have a couple of shorties here. I believe these are the M4s. Yep, these are the M4s. So we're going to take our first M4 screw. We're going to zoom in a little bit more. You're going to need a double-aught Phillips head. Our first M4 screw is going to go here. And remember, guys, these are all parts that are brand new. Or I assume they're brand new. But I didn't have to tear apart a GoPro to do any of this. We're going to take our Beck board. Oh, we're going to take our camera module. We're going to clip it in here. And these are really nice connectors that just kind of push together. Driven cables, when they lock in, you feel them. They just and kind of click in place. It's the same with the backboard. This is a little bit harder to line up because you have 2 different connections you have to nail down. Just want to make sure that they're lined up right before you push too hard. They should just pop into place. You can almost hear them click in. All right. And then we're going to use our M5 screws, which are these natural colored ones. One's going to go over here. I'm just getting these started lightly. And the other one is going to go right here. And we are cutting threads as we're doing this. Brandon, yes, this is a naked GoPro build using sourced parts. So don't go crazy on these things because you're just cutting threads into plastic. There we go. There's that. And we're going to use some of our 8mm long screws. One's going to go on the side here by the camera module, or the sensor module. And another one is going to go over here on the other side of the module. And again, remember, we're just going into plastic, guys. Don't go crazy with it. Take a back cover. Before we do that, we're going to have to deal with this mode ground issue. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to jumper a wire. At least this is the way I do it. We're going to jumper the power wire, or the power button to the ground button. So anytime we apply power to this, it's going to automatically power the camera. It's not going to start recording, but it's going to power it up. Let me grab a soldering medulli. It's just a real quick solder job here. Lawrence, how you doing, man? Lawrence has been bitten hard by the racing bug. Makes me happy. I wish more people would get into racing. I get a lot of people saying, "Oh, I don't race because I'm super competitive, and if I wasn't really good, I'm gonna get frustrated." I'm like, that's not being competitive. That's being a poor sport, is what that is. That's not being competitive. Just saying. I can't be the best instantly. I don't want anything to do with it. That's how most kids are nowadays. Old man Dan's complaining about kids again. All right. I'm sorry if I offended anybody in that comment, but if I did, I want to take a deep look in the mirror. Just saying. All right, let's go ahead and, we're gonna tin this wire here. I know you guys can't see this. And we're just gonna put a little bit of slaughter on these 2 pads here. There we go. And we just need a real short jumper wire. Nothing too crazy. The gauge of the wire really doesn't matter. Probably the thinner the better. Just something you can, whatever fits in there, just fine. Or will be just fine. we go. Kind of shaky today. There we go. All right, guys, you're done soldering. Cover that tip with solder and shut the iron off. Don't clean it. Encapsulates the tip, covers it in solder, so oxygen can't get to it, and won't oxidize. Make your tip last forever. All right, and again, all that's doing is it's making the camera automatically power up when we apply power to that plug there. And now we just got to close her up. Lawrence City is making a massive improvement over last week. That is awesome, brother. What do you attribute to your improvement from this week to last? Is it sim time, or is it stick time on the quad in the field? Or both? Curious. All right, guys, we're getting close to time to spin the wheel for the monthly giveaway. It's always a little concerning when you have leftover hardware. I have one screw left over. I have no idea where it goes. There we go. We are basically done. Basically done with the assembly. We're gonna weasel a little SD card Madoo in there. All right. Now, the last part we have to do is actually configure this thing, and the way I do it is I just have an old I bought a screen from a GoPro 6 because these are really hard to salvage, and there's this, it's just a 3D printed case, and all it does is just kind of clips in place and allows you to configure the camera there, and you only need this for the first time. After this you can do it through, I think, GoPro Labs, or there's another app that I use called BLE Remote. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. So let's go ahead and power this guy up. Again, I don't use that pin IO wire. I've heard too many people speculate that that is the cause of frying these things. Whether that's true or not, I have no idea. Sometimes it'd be pretty hard to get the screen to line up right. And grab the other screen I got. Another bag of GoPro. Let's see. Plug the screen in. This can be fairly tedious to do. There we go. It's plugged in there. And there we go. So now we have a functioning GoPro. Do not do any firmware updates if it asks. Crap. Don't. This is the tough part. Well, this is what you need here. Is you need to know the GoPro number and the pin code for it. How do I adjust the language? Nope. Going to the same menu. Oh, there's got to be a way to do this easier. I don't remember any of the menus. Translate. Let's see. Camera, let's see, Chinese to English, probably. Missions. Hello. Language. There we go. Thank you, Google Translate. There we go. Look at that. Google Translate to the rescue. But from here, you're going to connect it to your camera, to your phone, just like you would any other GoPro, and that's all you got to do. And you're good to go. So then when it comes time to actually record, it's literally plug your Lipo in, wait for the green light to flash, and then you can see right here, we have a record button. You hit record, green light comes on, and you are good to go. That's it. That's how you make a naked GoPro. All right, sorry guys, been kind of ignoring the chat a little bit. Just gotta take care of the task at hand. Back to the chat here. Where are we at? Wow, there's a lot of chat and stuff. This is 103 today, probably 105, blah, 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 blah. I don't see anything. Okay, here we go. Paul McDonald, I have been finding some trees whip around, like gates. Gotta admit, it's quite fun. Certainly is. Gotta give it a shot, man. Racing is the shiz. Let's see. Unless somebody tagged me, I'm probably not gonna read it. Well, sim and actual stick time. Okay, cool. Cool, Lawrence. Yeah, I'm actually at the point where I think simming is actually helping me. Before it was a lot of computer limitations and why it wasn't working. Why did you put your GoPro together so quickly? Back to the chat. Wheel time. You're right, Morton. It is wheel time. Let's go over. All right, guys. If you guys if you guys asked a question, I didn't get to it, ask it again. Make sure you tag me in it. You do @tweetfb@gmail.com. All right, guys. Closing down the entries in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry if you guys didn't get in on it. Better luck next time. If you want to be notified when the entry form goes live, become a patron supporter at the $5 and up tier. The entry link goes live when I post it on Patreon. Everybody else gets it when I go live with this live stream. The giveaway live stream is when it goes live. All right, just have to check, make sure nobody was cheating and double dipped. Got a bunch of freeloaders in here. Fuck you guys. All right, let's build up this wheel here. Wheelo names. Let's get rid of all these guys, and here we go. Dropping on the wheel. Boom. Here we go. Here is everybody. Here is all 44 entries for the giveaway. It is either a Flywoo, DJI something or other, or the Baby Ape. We'll shuffle this stuff up. And it starts. You got it, buddy. 37. He knows what's up. He knows what's up. 37. All right, guys. Scram freeloaders. Yeah, exactly. A couple more shuffles here. All right, guys. Good luck. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you for the support. Remember, you have to cover shipping, and I'll send you whichever one it was that you had selected on the giveaway form. Who's it gonna be today? Who's it gonna be? You patrons are the ones that keep this whole shit show rolling. Is it gonna be JF? Is it gonna be Jory? Or is it gonna be Mike Bergman? Where is it gonna stop? Ooh, it's gonna be close. Jory, congratulations. Congratulations. Let's see. What is your name? Jory. Let's see, what did... Jory selected the... He selected the Flywoo Firefly Hex DJI Quad. Congratulations, Jory. I will be sending that to you, and you are a freeloader. Thank you for not being a patron, but hey, you know what? Everybody wins. Not everybody has to pay to play. Congratulations, Jory. Let's see. What do you think? Think it's just spin the wheel for the other one? Let's save it for next month. Jory, congratulations. You are in the chat. It's awesome when the people in the chat. I guess I have to join Patreon now. You don't have to. It'd certainly be appreciated. But you don't have to. Absolutely no purchases necessary. You just need to be here at the right time. Let's see. What do you think? Think I should, let's see if I can do it. Let's see if I can remove everybody that wants the, let's see if I can remove everybody that wants the baby. There we go. We got all the baby 8 people. How am I going to do this? A few options. Baby 8. Oh, that's the options here. How do I do this? Sorry. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me figure this out. Let's see. Sort A to Z. And we can go boom. Boom. And let's see. So, Jory, congratulations, you won. And then let's make a new wheel. Should I put just the people that wanted the analog quad on there, or should I put everybody on there and then they can just pick if they want it or not? What do you guys think? Spin it for everybody, or just the people that wanted the baby ape? Everyone back on. All right, cool. We'll just do it that way. Jory, I'm going to remove your name from here just because it'd be kind of shitty for you to win both. Remove your name, Jory. Let's shuffle this thing up, and whoever wins it, if they want the analog quad, they can have it. If they don't, I'll just save it for another day. All right, guys. What's the ratio of people that just wanted the analog quad? Let me show you. Let me show you guys here. See if I can do this without revealing anybody's info. 1 second here. I don't want to post everybody's email address. I've done it way too many times. So here's how the breakdown works. 36% of the people wanted the Darwin Baby Ape, and 63 wanted the Flywoo Firefly Hex. And here's the patronage. So 45% of the people were patrons of $5. 22 of less than 5. There are people that are over 5, so that's 18%. And then there's 13% of freeloaders. Just 6 people. And obviously, everybody has said that they're willing to pay for it because you can't fill out the form unless you say that you're willing to pay for it. Do it again. All right. Oh, cool. We'll throw everybody on there. I'm just going to keep the time the same. All right, guys. Ready? Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And where's it gonna go? Gotta get this done before Bardwell comes on. Oh, let's see. L. Leston, sorry. William McEwen, not gonna be you today. Is it gonna be Edward Ashley or Brian Landermut? Brian. I think it's gonna be Brian. Congratulations, Brian. Was Brian one of the analog folk? Let's see. Just for S's and G's. Let's see. Question. What was your name? Brian Land. Let's see. Brian was a Firefly Hex guy, so we'll see if he wants it. If not, we'll just we'll save it for next month. All right, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this. Thank you all for playing today. Jory, please hit me up. Tweet at gmail.com. Same thing with you, Brandon. I do have your guys' emails, so I will. I'll definitely be able to send you an email. And good luck to work. Yeah, sorry, guys. All right, guys. Thanks for coming around. This is. Let me fix the screen. This is the highlight of my week is doing these live streams. I love working and talking and hanging out with you guys, kind of semi-real time. I wish that there was better feedback, like kind of like the Discord chat where everybody can kind of talk, but that becomes a chaotic mess after a while. But anyways, all good things must come to an end. I don't remember which camera is which now. I need to mark these things so I can keep them straight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching how to build a naked GoPro. If you haven't noticed, I've been taking some sections of my live stream and turning them into weekly release videos. That will definitely be one of them. So if you're wanting links to the products that I'm using, just wait for that video to come out. It'll all be in there. And that's all from me, folks. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, hit me up, tweetfpv@gmail.com. Go to my website, hit the affiliate links, all that stuff. Greatly helps me out. If you want to become one of the cool kids like this one here, or maybe this one, or like this guy, or this guy, go to patreon.com and sign up. As little as $2 a month or more if you think I deserve to earn it or have earned it. But as always, folks, stay positive. We'll see you next time. Stay tuned for Joshua Bardwell and his 35-minute intro song. That keeps getting longer every time I say it. I love JB. Absolute respect for the guy. And then after him, Ciati FPV. If you don't know who Ciati FPV is, he is entertaining as hell. A little chaotic, and I like that. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Everybody have a good week. Get up. Go fly. We'll see you next time. Stay positive.